Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So for you guys today, we are going to be doing like this look, a get ready style, a get ready with me style video. And today's video's topic, you guys are gonna have seen it in the title, but at the age of 25, I was diagnosed as being legally blind, and it's probably one of the best things to have ever happened to me. So if you guys want to see or listen to why that is, keep watching please, and like, subscribe, thumbs up, appreciate it. See you in a minute. Okay, I have coffee, I have on eye primer already, and Connie picked out the palette. It's the Naked Cherry palette. But today I kind of want to talk about something that I'm very excited about, and I don't think people are going to understand why I'm excited until I get towards the end of the story. So please stick around to hear the end of it. But yesterday I had an eye appointment with a vision specialist, and I was officially diagnosed as being legally blind, which, if you know who Molly Burke is, she is also legally blind, but our legally blinds are two very different things. She really only sees, from what I understand, light and shadow, whereas I can see most things that people see, like normal people see, but everything is so fuzzy, and I have almost no distance vision. When I was being tested yesterday, I was told in both of my eyes I have 20/150 vision, which, if you don't know what that means what I see at 20 feet, which isn't a whole lot. Somebody who has glasses or has perfect vision can see at 20/20 vision, or at 150 feet. So what I see at 20 feet, somebody else can see at 150 feet is what that means. Now, if you're wondering, why are you finally being diagnosed with this? I have something called hereditary optic atrophy, or hereditary optic atrophy. And what that means is I have a hereditary eye disease. I was born with it. My mom has it, and so does one of my sisters. And then atrophy is the degradation of the optic nerve. So parts of my optic nerve are degraded, they're dead. So from what I understand, because obviously I can't see inside my own eyeball, my optic nerve, instead of being a healthy looking optic nerve, it is covered in gray patches where the degradation has taken place. If you are wondering why haven't I been diagnosed with this sooner, I've had this since I was, like I said, I was born with it. I think I was diagnosed when I was 3 or 5. And the reason I asked the eye doctor, why, if my vision hasn't changed all that much, has it taken, this long for me to be diagnosed as being actually legally blind? And she said, well, it either means that your vision has degraded some more, which I don't think it has, because I don't have Leber's, which is another form of optic atrophy, but that is the slow, continual degradation of your optic nerve. Mine degraded to a point and then it stopped. I was born with it, degraded to a point, and it just stopped degrading. She says either it has degraded a little bit more to the point where it is affecting your vision more, or you're just a really good guesser, because how they tell on a vision chart is they have you start with the letter E, and then you move down a line, and then you move down a line, and then you move down a line. For in the United States, or at least in Michigan, to be considered legally blind, your vision has to be 20/100. Like, it has to be worse than 20/100. And mine is 20/150 in both eyes. And I said, okay, that makes sense, because even at like the 20/150 point, I could really only do it out of my right eye. My right eye is slightly stronger than my left eye. I could see 2 letters clearly, like somewhat clearly, on the 100, like the 20/100 line of the vision chart. And to be not considered legally blind, I would have had to have been able to get them all, and I couldn't. Like, they were all so fuzzy. I was guessing, and I had been guessing for years. Like, I'd always just guess. Once I got to a certain point, I would guess. And I guess I just guessed correctly the whole time, because I think my vision has like changed, but I don't think it's changed enough for like that to have happened. But anyway, I'm happy about it. Now, if you're like wondering, why are you happy about being diagnosed as legally blind? Isn't it going to take away your independence? Isn't it going to make it so you can do less things? No, it's not. Because I was always falling like into a gray zone, but because my vision wasn't being diagnosed as being bad enough to qualify for being like legally blind status, it meant that like there was no way, like I couldn't walk into the DMV or the Secretary of State and apply for my driver's license. I couldn't because my vision wasn't good enough for that, but it also wasn't bad enough that I could go through like one of the specialty places to get my license either. Because if you're wondering, I do see, but for me to be able to drive, I need these, and these are a scope. It's called a bioptic scope, and what it is it's mounted on a pair of regular glasses, but like when I get my driver's license, or if I get my driver's license, I will have to have these to drive. Now, right here is the lens that I see through, but like I have to tip my head down and like I have to tip my head down and look out this eye to be able to see through this thing, and that's the part that requires training, because you can only do it for like 1 or 2 seconds, and with that you have to be able to see stoplights and stop signs and traffic signals and cars coming and all this other stuff. So like I need the training for that, but I could not get it because I didn't know where to go. Like, nobody was really willing to tell me, wasn't willing or wasn't able to tell me where I had to go to get this training as somebody who is visually impaired but not legally blind. And so being like firmly now in the legally blind stage, I am able to like get help through the state. If I wanted to, I could also qualify for like disability, because my vision makes it so I'm a disabled person. It's not a visible disability, but it is a disability. And it's sometimes just very, like, it was very frustrating because I couldn't drive to work by myself. I couldn't get myself to work without somebody having to take me. I can't cross more than 2 or 3 lanes of traffic because I can't see the little symbol that tells you when to go. That's too far away. I couldn't see, like, I don't watch TV because I have a hard time seeing my TV, and my TV is only on the other side of the living room, and it's an 82-inch screen TV. Just so many other things that, like, people take for granted that I can't do without help. So like, for example, if I want to go through the drive-through, or if I go to a place that has like their order menu posted behind the registers, I can't see that. Like when I go out to Frizoli's as an example, or McDonald's, one of my friends has to read me the order menu. Otherwise, because I don't feel like explaining why I need somebody to read me the menu every single time I go out, I will usually just end up ordering whatever the special is, which is frustrating because sometimes I don't like the special. And if that's the case, that just means I'm not getting anything to eat. But basically, being diagnosed as legally blind it's just making it so that there are more doors open to me to be able to learn or get access to tools that I need to have my independence. Because right now, I have a job, right? But I have to have one of my coworkers takes me. And if she can't take me, then I have to ask someone else to. And it's very frustrating to have to always feel dependent and like I'm owing somebody something. And I don't like talking about being visually impaired for the most part, just because people assume that if I'm like if I say I'm legally blind, they assume I can't see anything. And like I can see, I just don't see well, but I do see. And so I was just very, very happy to be able to be diagnosed as being legally blind, just because of the amount of doors it's going to open for me. I'm very excited about that. I don't think that there should be a gray area in vision anyway, but the fact that there is annoying as all heck. But yeah, so that's why I'm glad I was diagnosed as being visually impaired. If anybody's wondering, with those scopes I showed you earlier, I can get my vision down to 20/30, which means like what I see at 20 feet, somebody else can see at 30 feet. So I'm still like always going to be slightly nearsighted, but it's not so nearsighted that like I would even really need glasses for the most part. Like if I had been born with that vision, and I would have already had my driver's license by now. So it's nice to know that I now have the ability to talk to people who are going to be able to help me get to like the next chapter of my life. And I'm so excited about it. Like I know some people like wouldn't be very happy about this diagnosis, and they would like want to wonder, you know, why them. It's that's not something I've ever wondered about. Like I knew I was born with it. For me it's not a big deal. And something a lot of people don't realize is I don't realize how bad my vision is until someone points it out to me. So like when I'm at my job and I have to lean super duper close to the screen to be able to, like, if somebody asks me for a price check on something and I've already hit total, I have to back out of the total screen and what's the word? I have to go back and look at their individual price, and like that means I have to lean super close to the screen because I can't see it. Like the screen is too small for me to be able to see it easily like that. And I get comments like, "Well, do you want to borrow my glasses?" No, fucking no. I don't want to borrow your glasses, you stupid old man, or you stupid old woman, or something like that. Like, it's so annoying when people do that. Or to be asked, like, why don't you wear glasses? And it's like, if glasses would fix what is wrong with me, or if something could fix what is wrong with my vision, I would. Because, like I said, I've been dealing with this for a while, but for the longest time, it was so annoying to just have people ask me that. And it's like, it was just like I had to bite my tongue and stuff. But then there have been a couple of times that people have said, you're lying. There's no way you can be legally blind and still see anything. One, are you in my body? Do you know what I see? No, I didn't think so. Two, what does lying about being visually impaired / legally blind get me? It gets me nothing, because this was like, I'm doing story time now, but this was before yesterday, so before I had been like officially diagnosed as being legally blind. You know, it didn't get me anything. I couldn't drive. I couldn't cross the street by myself. I have a hard time going grocery shopping by myself if I have to really look for something. I don't get disability check or anything. Like, I don't get anything. Everything I buy with the money that I earn from my job. I'm not sitting at home collecting a social security check for no reason. You know, like, why would I lie about it if there's nothing benefiting me? And just to have people continuously doubt me, yesterday was like validation that I wasn't wrong, that everybody who's like judged me my entire life for it can just go like lick a certain something. It was really nice to have it confirmed, you know, and I realize not everybody's gonna get that, not everybody's going to agree. And before anybody pipes off with the fact, well, if you're legally blind and you need those scopes to see, you shouldn't be driving anyway. Just so you know, I have to go through 6 to 8 months of driver's training with a specialist to be able to do this. Okay, normally, once you turn 18 here, you can go to the DMV and take your road test. You don't even have to take the written test. You can just take your road test, and if you pass your road test, you're good to go. So I have to do a lot of training to be able to ever be able to drive. And I'm going to do it if I'm able. So, like, if I can, because not being able to do anything, it's like, here's my life, okay? Here's my life, here's my story. I wake up in the morning, I get up, I get dressed, I either go to work, and then I come home. That is all I do. Except for like the rare occasion when sometimes I can get somebody to take me to the gas station to grab something, or on my way home from work I have to go to the grocery store where I get lean cuisines and stuff, because I can't tell what's in the aisles there, and I don't have enough time because I'm on somebody else's schedule. I think that'll be the thing that'll be like the most satisfying, is to just be able to go do things without being on somebody else's schedule. And maybe, like I said, some people don't think I should have a license. Whoop-de-doo for you. I don't care what you think. because unless you're willing to be my literal taxi driver at beck and call, like a beck and call taxi driver, unless you hit me or I hit you in a car accident, you don't have anything to say. Like, you have nothing to say. They have made getting a license for people who are visually impaired so much harder than what it used to be. Because there are only 2 places you can go in all of Michigan to be able to get your license. And in the United States, some places, like my sister lives in Oklahoma. One of them lives in Oklahoma. And in Oklahoma, I wouldn't be allowed to drive. I would be stuck depending on other people for the rest of my life. So am I glad I got diagnosed as being completely, fully, like, by definition, legally blind, even if it's only by, like, the skin of my teeth? Absolutely. Do I wish being visually impaired on anybody? No. No, and I think it's stupid that there is a gray space. And the other thing I think that's going to be super helpful to me is once, you know, being diagnosed as being legally blind, and now that I qualify for, like, help to be able to get my driver's license and stuff, what else does that mean for me? It means, like, I'm not hopefully going to be stuck at a job that I hate for much longer. I hate my job. I don't even dislike it. I hate it with a burning passion of 1,000 suns. I despise my job. But just to have, like, the company that I've been with for almost 5.5 years. It's been actually over 5.5 years. It'll be 6 months or 6 years in January. You know, for them to have completely disregarded my concerns, especially like when it's not even like a big deal to them. You know, for me to ride back and forth to work with this girl means that I would be working 5 days a week, and I would be working anywhere from like 4.5 hours to 6.5 hour shifts. You know, so it'd be short, like, closing shifts, but I'd still be able to close and stuff, which is all I ever do anyway. Like, before I started riding with Allie, all I ever did was freaking close anyway. So why does it matter that, like, I have to be able to ride back and forth with her? It wouldn't have inconvenienced them at all. But for them to treat me like that, it's one of the reasons why I hate my job. There's no concern for it. None. They don't care. And I realize, like, people are going to say, well, it's a business. Of course they don't care. Their whole thing is they want their guests and their team members to feel like family. In what world, one, would you do that to your family? Because if you do that to your family, like, I think you're low-key a pretty shitty person. Okay, my opinion. If you can, like, do that to your family, you are a pretty shitty person. And 2, like I said, they knew I couldn't drive when I was hired. They knew I was probably never going to be able to drive. But they hired me anyway. And just for, like, them to pull this freaking 180 is ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I've been with the company for a long time. You know, they won't promote me for anything. And it's not because I'm bad at my job. I was in the top 10% of all the stores in June to be selling extra, like, warranties to people. Like, I was selling people, you know, additional warranties. I was in the top 10% of over 300 stores. You know? So for them to, like, just completely disregard me like I don't mean anything and stuff, it frustrates me. So to be able to be diagnosed as legally blind and to hopefully eventually be able to get my driver's license, it means I can apply at other jobs. I would be able to quit this job that I hate so much. My quality of life will improve. My independence will go up so completely. And do you know what I mean? Like, it'll just, everything I think will be better. And people are gonna be like, well, you're gonna have to pay car insurance and stuff. I'm not worried about paying car insurance. I know I'd have to pay car insurance. You know, like, whatever. Car insurance is a little amount of money to be able to pay, to have freedom that most people just take for granted. You know, I cannot describe to you how awesome it would be to be able to grab my scalps, go out to my car, get in my car, and just go places. Even if it was only going to Barnes & Noble to have a coffee. So I'm ecstatic that I was diagnosed as being legally blind. I'm ecstatic that, like, the beginning steps that have been taken to get me set up with, like, magnifiers and a driver's license, and it means I'd be able to go back to school to get my master's degree, which maybe I'm not, like, going to do, but I could easily do it if I could drive. You know, just, you know, it would be so amazing to be able to do that. To be able to go get my friend Michaela from her house and take her to the bar so she could drink instead of having to be the designated driver all the time. To go get my grandma or my aunt and go somewhere without them having to drive to pick me up. You know, just to be able to do those types of things. To be able to read a book. To be able to read a page printed book with a magnifier and not have to try and freaking find it on Kindle app and download it through Kindle and stuff. Just to be able to hold, like, a physical book and be able to read it. I would love to be able to do that. To be able to, like, look at things without my eyes feeling like they're gonna pop out of my face because they're so strained and they're so sore and they're so tired. That would be literally the best thing ever. And being diagnosed as somebody who's legally blind, at some point I will be able to do it. Is it going to be really fast? No. These things take time. Getting the help that I need takes time. But to be able to, you know, have it be said, yes, you now qualify to be able to help. You are now entitled to this help. Now we are able to help you, just to get my foot in the door. It's like all this pressure lifted off of me. And some people aren't going to get it. Other people will. You know, it's not... it's... I'm so excited for, like, what my future holds now. You know, before I always felt, like, stuck in a rut because, like I said, I did the same thing every single day. And now there's, like, a glimpse of the light at the end of the tunnel of not being stuck, doing the same thing over and over and over again, to not be able to do anything. I'm ecstatic. I am so Why does that look so strange? I am so excited about it, and that's why I'm so happy to have been diagnosed as being visually impaired, because nobody can now say, like, you don't deserve, you know, I can't tell you how many times, like, I've called different companies, different places, like, I've reached out on my own as a person to be able to see, like, you know, what can I do? What do you need? I need to be able to do this. And I don't get answered. And I can send 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 emails and never be answered. I can leave phone calls and voicemails and never get called back. And now, because I'm able to be linked to an agency, like a government agency, because I now qualify for help from the government for this, I have my foot in the door. You know, I have somebody who's going to be able to advocate for me. It's not just going to be Shanna advocating for Shanna. I'm going to have other people doing it too. And just to know that, like, I'm not going to say it's like a whole team of people, but the fact that, like, I now have, or will soon have, somebody in my corner to fight for me, it's such a good feeling. And I you know, unless it happens to you, and I hope it never does, you can't possibly understand what it's like. You can't. There's no possible way for you to understand what it's like. But yeah, like I said, that's what it means for me. Like, those are the opportunities I now have as someone who's been diagnosed as legally blind. And like I said, I don't expect most people are going to understand it. I don't, because I was telling some people at work today, and they were like, why are you happy about this? Like, why are you so happy? Why is I don't know. But they're like, why are you so happy? Most people would be so upset to have been diagnosed as being legally blind at your age. And I guess, like, the only thing I can say is the fact that I now have opportunities. Instead of, like, a bunch of doors closing, it's like some are opening that I knew were there, but I could never access when I was just considered visually impaired. And no, I don't fake it. I legitimately, you guys are blurry. Like, I'm looking at my phone right now, and it's ridiculously blurry, and you're less than 3 feet away from me. So yeah, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. Those are the reasons why I'm, like I said, I'm ecstatic that I am being diagnosed as legally blind. And I don't expect most people to understand, but for me, it's like being given a second chance to prove that I can do these things. I just need someone to act as, like, a stepping stone to get me there. You know, and before I was diagnosed as legally blind, before I was told that, yes, you are, like, legally blind, that stepping stone wasn't available to me. And I tried everything when I was just considered visually impaired, because not everybody who is, this is how it was explained to me, everybody who is legally blind is visually impaired, but not everybody who is visually impaired is legally blind. So when I was visually impaired but not legally blind, I did everything. I reached out to rehabilitation centers that I was told I was going to have to go to. I reached out to working places, like places that were supposed to help you get the training that you needed to get you a job that could actually pay the bills and everything. And now that I'm labeled as like legally blind, I now have access to all that, and like I said, there's going to be somebody other than myself fighting for it. And that makes me so happy, and I'm ecstatic. I am so happy about this. But anyway, yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I would very much greatly appreciate it. I don't know why under my eye is so bright compared to like the rest of my face. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, like I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments below. I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you want to know like more about it, I can do another video and explain it some more. I have no problem discussing this, but I want to discuss it with people who are going to be willing to listen to me versus just think that they know all the answers. But anyway, if you guys like this video, subscribe, thumbs up. See you in the next one. Thanks for listening. Bye.